Throughout the 19th century, the great powers of Europe were beset by national and imperial rivalries. Meanwhile, the world as a whole became more interconnected and interdependent than it had ever been. Competing militaries adopted such reforms as trained conscript armies, military use of railroads and telegraphs, modernized weapons delivered by a military-industrial base, and centralized general staffs. This in turn contributed to militarism, an inclination to resolve quarrels by force. It also locked nations into time-sensitive mobilization plans, wherein speedy deployment could lead to victory and tardy deployment to defeat. Rivalry simmered between the French Second Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia, as the latter seized Schleswig-Holstein from Denmark in 1864, defeated the Austrian Empire in 1866, and seemed well on the way to unifying the numerous German principalities into a single nation. An abortive bid to place a Prussian prince on the throne of Spain by marriage, complicated by construed insults in the infamous MS Dispatch describing subsequent diplomacy, led the Emperor Napoleon III of France to declare war. The Prussians and their German allies benefited from the careful planning and direction of a professional general staff, rapid mobilization of a trained conscript army, artful exploitation of well-designed railroad and telegraph networks, and modern breech-loading rifle-led artillery. The Germans massed quickly in the vicinity of Alsace-Lorraine, and surrounded and overwhelmed the smaller French regular army before France's reserves could be brought into play. Fighting on the ground was fierce, as infantrymen on both sides were equipped with breech-loading rifles. Napoleon III was captured, but the French Third Republic declared itself and continued the fight, with Paris besieged and starving and relief efforts by increasingly raw French conscripts defeated. France capitulated. Peace terms included the loss of Alsace and Lorraine and a 5 billion franc indemnity. Even more significant, German unification was achieved, and King Wilhelm I of Prussia was crowned the first Kaiser of the Second Reich. The war and the terms of the peace embittered the French against the Germans for generations. Armies across Europe rushed to adopt the German formula of a general staff, trained conscript armies, military use of railroads and telegraphs, and modernized weapons delivered by a military-industrial base. This in turn contributed to a rising tide of militarism throughout Europe.